Hey out there, and welcome. I'm Kate and this is my yoga channel. I'm glad you're here. Today's practice is going to be a flow, focus on getting us into hanumanasana, which is a front splits pose. So hamstrings and quads and hip flexors. Oh my, it's going to be great. A lot of props today. It'll help us get into the pose a little more comfortably. I have 3 blocks here. If you only have 2, that's fine. If you do have 3, grab them. Maybe 2 blocks and a water bottle, something that's sturdy that'll hold your weight. Not too much of it, but a little bit. A strap or a belt, some sort of arm lengthening lasso type tool. And a couple of blankets. If you don't have a couple of blankets, a pillow and a hand towel will do just fine, or a blanket and a paper towel. I mean, anything like that will work. Grab all of those things. It's like a yoga scavenger hunt. Super fun. Find a quiet spot, roll out your mat, and then we'll get to some yoga. Okay, so we're gonna get started in a comfortable seat just for a moment. So we've got the blankets here. You might as well grab a blanket or 2 and put it underneath your tuchus and take a couple of breaths just to close your eyes, to get yourself here. We don't have a ton of time to just sit and be, but do give yourself the opportunity to find your center. And sometimes it feels like it's way deep down in there. So just to start, feel your shoulders relax. Feel the ground or the blanket underneath you. Feel the crown of your head stretch up without adding tension or stress to your body. And then take a moment to acknowledge that you are indeed in a body. Feel your awareness come into that space as you shift your focus to your breath. And enjoy the rise and fall of your inhale. And take a moment before we start moving to check in with how you're feeling today. What's your energy level? What kind of stuff is swirling around in your head? What kind of stuff is taking up space in your heart? And take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. And if your eyes have been closed, take a moment here to open them up. And we're going to work our way into table. You can always use the blankets underneath your knees if you need some extra padding while you're here. Just take a few rounds of cat and cow as you inhale. Feel your spine arch, stretch your chest forward. And when you exhale, let it round. And keep moving just like this. At your pace, moving how you feel like you need to today. Maybe it's a smaller movement. Maybe it's super big and dramatic. Find what works. One more. And on your exhale, you're going to round and then send your hips back to your heels. Come into a child's pose here and just pause, let your elbows drop. If child's pose feels really wildly uncomfortable, you can always come just to a comfortable seat. Let your eyes close. Just a breath here. And when you inhale, come back up. Find that neutral spine. When you exhale, look over your right shoulder. Feel your outer right hip. Pull around toward your nose. Inhale through the middle. And exhale, take it to the other side. One more through center. And over to the right. back through center, and over to the left. And then back through center and pause here. Take your right foot, stretch it straight back behind you. You're gonna tuck your toes and just rock forward and back. You're gonna stretch into the foot there, a little bit into your calf. There's the sun. We don't get it very much where I am in the winter, so it's pretty beautiful out there. Couple more rocks back and forth. All right, shoulders over the wrists, float that right leg up. Pull your abdominal muscles in, take your left arm, reach it forward, and just pause here. Inhale, exhale, left hand to the floor, knee in toward your nose and round. Kick it back, reach that left arm forward. Exhale, left hand down, knee into your nose. One more, just like that. Inhale, reach. Exhale, right knee in toward your nose. Step your right foot up between your thumbs and help it along if you need, and grab blocks if you want. Feel your hips sink as you pop onto your fingertips. Scissor through your inner thighs and just pause here. We're going right into it, right? So inhale, lengthen. And when you exhale, Ardha Hanuman, we have our half splits. Oh, look, we're halfway there. Oh my goodness, 5 minutes in. We're almost there. Inhale, rock it forward, sink your hips. Exhale, pull it back again. One more like that. Inhale, rock forward. And exhale, pull it back, and then pause it right here. Oh, feel your sitting bones move back behind you. And then take the pinky toe edge of your foot and open it out to the side. Oh, there it is. Yes, and then back up through center. Take the ball of your foot and press it down. Beautiful. And then take all 5 toes and ground them into the mat. Peel it up, coming back onto your heel, and then rock forward. Oh, left hand's gonna stay. Take your right arm and just reach it up. Nice twist here. You got it. And you can pause right here. If you want to bend your back knee and reach back for that left foot, that feels available to you. You always have the strap, right? So you can lasso that foot. Roll your top shoulder open. You can even spin your right toes open a bit. And you're gonna bring your chest back through center. Flip the grip, right? So the hand comes to the instep of that left foot. And then you can use your blocks here. If you feel like this is super intense, you wanna start to kick your foot into your hand. And lift your chest. Inhale. When you exhale, release. Let it go. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee, and rock gently forward and back. Beautiful. Downward facing dog. Step it forward, or step it back. You can step it forward too, but it's not going to be a down dog. Paddle it out. Oh, bend one knee, press the opposite heel down. Yes. Inhale, come on forward, find your plank. When you exhale, drop your knees. Keep your toes tucked, take your hips back to your heels. Press the balls of your feet into the mat. Keep your arms active. Nice big stretch through your foot. Inhale, come forward, find your table, and then take your chest and chin forward, elbows in, little half chaturanga. Launch off those toes. Baby cobra, inhale. Exhale, press into your hands, come on up. Find your table, okay. Left side, right, take that left foot, kick it back behind you, tuck your toes, and rock in and out. Yes. Work that left side. And when your shoulders come over your wrists the next time, draw your abdominal muscles in, float that left leg up. Beautiful, take your right arm, reach. You got it, inhale, exhale, right hand down, knee in toward your nose. Kick it back as you inhale, lift that right hand. Exhale, hand down, knee to nose. Last one. Kick it out and reach. Right hand down, knee to nose. Step that left foot up between your thumbs. Kick yourself if you're feeling saucy, which I apparently am. And pop onto your fingertips. Scissor through your inner thighs. Oh, feel your chest lift. Just working into the front of this right side here. Little bit, trying to make some space. Inhale. You know what's coming when you exhale, pull your hips back. Inhale, rock forward, sink your hips, extend into your chest. Exhale, pull it back again. One more. Inhale, rock it forward, sink your hips. Exhale, pull it back, and we're gonna pause here. Half splits on this side, feel your sitting bones pull back. Press gently into this left heel. And then take those toes and blop them out to the left. Bloppage. Total bloppage. And back up through center. Try to keep your left leg straight. Take the ball of your foot to the floor, but those toes are gonna stay lifted as best they can. Ooh, and then press into your toes. Put the pedal to the metal. Oh goodness. All right. Pull your toes back, rock it forward, sink your hips here, lean into your right hand, take your left arm, reach it up. And you can just enjoy the twist here if that's what's working best for you. If you want to work into this right side quad, you can bend your back knee, reach for the pinky toe edge of your foot for just a moment here. You can spin your left toes open, make some space, sink your hips. And as your hips sink, feel your chest stretch forward. Oh, mercy. Yep. And now we're gonna rein it in a little bit, right? So bring your chest toward the top of the mat, spin your grip so you're on the instep of that right foot. Use a block underneath your right hand if you want. Kick your foot into your hand, and as you do, lift your chest. Deep breath here. And then exhale, release, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and just rock here, in and out. Yeah. Gorgeous. All right, downward facing dog, take it back. Pause it here, spread through your fingers. Feel the four corners of your palms root down, feel those triceps rolling toward your ears. Inhale, rock forward, find your plank. Exhale, drop your knees. Keep your toes tucked as long as that's okay. Take your hips back to your heels for this extended child's pose, arms still active. Press the balls of your feet into the mat. Oh. Inhale, come forward and all the way down. Chest and chin, and then a baby cobra. Curl it back, neck is nice and long here. Downward facing dog, pull it up. Let's stretch it back. And take your gaze forward, and we're gonna tiptoe to the top of the mat. So take your time here. We're working these legs, so just make some space. When you get to the top, soften your knees, grab opposite hand to elbow, and let yourself sway for a moment. Yes. Release that. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. Exhale and fold. Press into your feet. Come all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. Reach out. Stretch it up. Scoop your tailbone. And we're going to go right back over those legs. Exhale and fold. Soften your knees if you need to on the way down. Inhale. Halfway lift. Ooh. Exhale and fold. Plant your hands, walk it back, downward facing dog. Take your right leg, lift it up, and stretch it back behind you. Keep your Toes pointing straight down. So hips stay square here. That's it. You don't have to lift that right leg too high. Press into your hands. Feel that left heel drop back toward the floor. Back and down, back and down. That's it. Inhale. When you exhale, step that right foot up between your thumbs. Keep your back knee lifted here. Feel where your hips can sink down, and maybe you want to grab your blocks for this one. It's entirely up to you. Inhale. When you exhale, we're going to press into that right foot. Work to straighten your legs. Inhale, rock forward. Feel the front of your body extend toward the top of your mat. Exhale, pull it back and fold. Again, inhale, rock it forward. Exhale, pull it back. Last one. Rock forward. And then pull it back and hang out right here. Scissor through your inner thighs. And now you're going to pop up onto the heel of that right foot. Ooh. Feel your outer right hip tack back gently. You can lean into that left hand on the block or on the floor. Just make sure it's stable. Right hand to your outer hip, lengthen your spine. And then start to spin your torso to the right. Maybe that right arm reaches up. Oh, yeah. And then windmill it all the way down. Rock it forward. From here, I'm gonna get rid of my blocks. From here, we're gonna come into a Cleopatra pose, right? So take this right foot. My left hand's gonna come forward just a bit. Roll onto the outer edges of both feet. Sink those hips. Feel your chest lift up. And then hands all the way back down. Step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come on forward, find your plank. And knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, right into your block. Baby cobra, or upward facing dog. And then a downward facing dog, pull it back. Second side, right? You're gonna take your left leg, lift it up, and stretch it back behind you. But keep it, doesn't have to come super high. Maybe it's parallel to the floor. And now feel where you can take your right heel and stretch it back and down like you were gonna stretch out your foot while you're here. Yes, deep breath in. When you exhale, left foot's gonna step forward. Grab those blocks if you want them, right? Sink your hips, keep that back leg active. So your back heel's gonna keep kicking back behind you. Inhale. Exhale, pull it back, work to straighten that left leg. 2 more, rock it forward. And pull it back. Last one. And pull it back, and we're gonna pause here, right? Hands underneath your shoulders. Press into the heel of that left foot. Scissor through your inner thighs. Maybe the ball of your foot comes off the floor. Maybe that doesn't work for you today. Let's find what works. Lengthen your spine here. Keep rooting through your feet. Take your left hand to your outer left hip. Lengthen out, and we take a twist now. To the left. Maybe that left hand reaches up. Ooh. Maybe your back feels like it's got a brick wall across the upper part of it. Yep. And then windmill it down. Sink it forward. And breathe here. Yep, I'm gonna lose the blocks. Now, my right hand's gonna come forward just a bit. Maybe my right foot hops in, right? Maybe you make a little adjustment here for your Cleopatra. Roll into the outer edges of both feet. Oh. Take your left hand, reach it back. Inhale. Exhale. Bring it back through center. Downward facing dog. Gorgeous. And then from here, walk or hop on your exhale. Make your way to the top. Lengthen when you get there. And fold. Press into your feet. Come all the way up. Urdhva reach it up. Exhale, take it right back down to the floor. Halfway lift. Then another downward facing dog. Let's do it. Yes. Okay, take your right leg, lift it up and stretch it back. Bring it about parallel, right? Hips nice and square. Feel that left heel stretch back and down. Oh, inhale. Exhale, step your right foot forward for warrior one. When you feel good, press into your feet. Bring it up. And pause here. Hands to your hips. Feel where you can press evenly through both feet, right? This back heel is going to root down. And even as you press into the heel of that left foot, your left hip's going to pull forward gently. Take your arms, reach them up. Pause right here. Soften through your shoulders. Yes. Here we go. Take your right hand to the front of your right hip. Gonna straighten out through your right leg. Inhale, lengthen up. As you exhale, we're gonna come out and over, out and over, out and over. This right hand is here just to remind your hip that it needs to tack back just a little bit. Then the left hand can find the floor or a block. The right hand can find the floor or a block. Little Parsvottanasana here. Soften through your shoulders. Feel where you can try to work your hips to square. It's really weird and kind of a challenge to do when you're doing this, not with a group of people and when I'm not in the room with you, but just work to see if you can feel find some squareness in your hips. Beautiful. A couple more breaths right here. Keep that scissor through your inner thigh. We're going to go for a standing split here on this right leg, right? So soften your right knee, shift your weight forward, press the floor away. And feel where you can almost get a little bit of lift through this hip, right? We don't want to dump all our weight down, but press into the floor. Feel some lift through the hip. Inhale, lengthen your spine. When you exhale, you're going to pull your left knee in and kick it forward and through. We're going to come all the way down to sit. I should have warned you about that. Grab your strap while you're still upright and then roll all the way down onto your back. With that right knee still into your chest, take the strap over the ball of your right foot. And then kick it up. And you want one strap in each hand. You want to have straight arms and let your shoulders relax on the floor. If that means your hands slide down the strap and you give yourself more room, then that's what it means. No big deal. Press into the ball of your foot, feel the pinky toe edge move back. The left leg can be active, 10%-ish. Now it's going to need to work a little bit harder, right? So can root down through the top of this left thigh, left hand out to the side, if that helps. Going to take your right leg and open it out. Yes, feel your outer right hip hook underneath. And then bring it back up through center. Take the strap into your left hand and you're going to cross over just a touch. So we get it into this outer edge. Maybe it's still in the back of your leg, but maybe the stretch has moved around to the outside edge of your leg. All right, come back up through center. One breath here, and then you're gonna bend your knee. You can move the strap to the side and roll up to sit, because we're gonna grab a block. So ready? Here we go. Roll it up. Grab a block. Roll it all the way back down. Now both feet on the mat. Press into your feet, lift your hips. Now you're gonna pull your left knee in. It seems counterintuitive, but left knee comes in. Now take your right leg and stretch it out. And you wanna feel the front of this right thigh bone lengthen out and down toward your heel. So your heel is gonna push in and kick into the mat. While that right leg is extending as much as it can, pull your left knee in. Yes. All right, and then left foot to the floor. Bring your right foot in too. Press into your feet, lift both hips. Take the block out and just keep it right there. Pull both knees in. You're gonna roll all the way up. Cross over those knees. Downward facing dog. take a second to pedal it out. And hopefully you feel like you have a little more space through that right leg. All right, inhale, rock forward, find your plank. Vinyasa how you want to. Or just hold your plank or your down dog. Okay, left leg is gonna lift up. Keep that leg as kind of parallel to the floor as you can. Feel that right heel anchored down. Oh, yes. Here we go. Warrior one. Drag it in. Step that left foot forward. Root through those feet. And rise up. Tailbone nice and long. Right outer edge of the foot's gonna root down, and then this right thigh bone, this right hip point can pull forward. Inhale, take your arms and reach them up, and just take a breath here, or several. This might feel vastly different from the first side, and that's okay, depending on where tightness resides. Left hand to that front of your left thigh. We're gonna lengthen up. Spine nice and long, feel your chest lift and come out and over, out and over, out and over, out and over till you make it all the way to the floor. And maybe there's blocks that you'd like underneath your hands here for Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. And we're gonna hang here for a couple of breaths. So feel your weight press evenly through both feet. And notice if you tend to really kind of push into the back of your knee here, like hyperextend this knee, give just a little tiny bend to that knee. So you're not dipping too deep into the back of it. Ooh. You got it. And just work those hips towards square, or however a square feels. 2 more breaths. Okay, standing split to this left leg. Shift your weight forward. Press the floor away. Feel that hip lift. Right leg kicks back. Yes, inhale. Exhale, pull your right knee in. We're coming all the way to sit, right? So if you got blocks under your hands, it makes this transition much more friendly. Okay, and then grab your strap and roll yourself all the way down, left knee in. Take the strap over the ball of your left foot. This strap is very confusing today. The dog is trying to get in. They're storming the gates. Okay, press into the ball of your foot. Feel your shoulders soften. Give yourself room here with the strap, with your arms, as much as you need for this back portion of your leg, your leggy. And just breathe. If you're holding tension in your cheeks or your jaw or your neck or your shoulders, take a breath in and let it out. Okay? Okay. Right leg's active here. So keep it working. Straps into that left hand. Open out slowly and gently. Whoa, to the left. Oh, I found the wall. If you have a wall nearby, you can kick into it. It feels really good. Feel your outer left hip lengthen away. Yes. Inhale, back up through center. Grab the straps with your right hand. Take it over to the side just a little bit. Press that outer hip open. Gorgeous. And back up through center, pause here. And bend your knee, and you can get rid of the strap. Okay, here we go. Left foot to the floor. Hopefully that block you had is nearby now. If not, roll up, grab it, and roll back down. Bring your right foot in, lift your hips, and take that block right underneath your sacrum there, right at the base of your spine. Then you're gonna take your right knee in. Give it a hug. Stretch your left leg long. Feel where your left heel can press down and into the mat. It's almost like you're pulling yourself in 2 opposite directions. I mean, because you are. but sometimes it helps to picture that. Take a breath. And then set that right foot down. Left foot next to it, press into your feet, lift your hips, and roll yourself down. And now we're gonna come all the way up. Okay, so here it is. Hanumanasana. So I'm gonna take my mat. If you've got a ton of space out in front of you, you don't really have to do this, but I'm gonna take my mat and fold it in half. If you don't have a lot of room, bring your mat, fold it in half. And then you can find chunks of dog hair stuck underneath your mat. So your first blanket can go right here on this folded edge of your mat here. And the second blanket's gonna go out in front. If you don't have a second blanket, the hand towel or the paper towel or the whatever is gonna go out here. And then grab your 2 blocks. If you have a third block, you can put the third block, this is like the you know, posh setup here. If you have a third block, bring it to your dominant hand side. I'm not sure why I'm saying it, but I'm saying it. Bring it to that side. Okay, so now we're here. We're in table, blocks under the hands. Right foot's gonna step through. Okay, oops, I didn't get my, why is this weird? I don't have my blanket. So you're gonna step onto the blanket, onto the towel, onto the whatever, onto the swishy thing. Okay, now you can come onto your heel, just like we did when we were in our long parvo, and we're just gonna kind of slide forward with control, right? With control. All right, so now we're here, right? You can tuck your back toes and start to move your back toes back. You wanna make sure that your hips are still square to the front, right? We don't want any kind of skew or action happening here, but square. And I've got both of my legs plugging in as much as I can, right? So here we go. Legs draw in toward the middle. You find a place where you're like, okay, I'm good here. Now this is where the third block can come in, or where you can grab a water bottle under one of your hands. And I'm gonna take this third block, we're gonna cheat here, and slide it underneath my thigh, closer to my knee, because that feels good to me. And then maybe I can rest on it. It's a little low. I wish it were just a little bit higher. So maybe the higher click of the block will work for you. And then maybe you can untuck the back toes. Feel your low belly lift, feel your tailbone lengthen. If it feels more secure to have your hands right on these blocks the whole time, you can. If you can zip up through your low belly, feel lift through your pelvic floor, keep those legs actively drawing in, maybe your hands can stretch up. Yeah, big leap of faith here. Take your hands back down to the floor. I like to have my blocks super high here so I can push down to lift up and then drag it all back in. So none of the weight is in that front leg. And you can pause in your table and sway a little bit side to side. And maybe come up, do some hip circles. Feel like you can plug that leg back in. Okay, second side, ready? You can have that third block out of the way. I wish I had a water bottle here. I could show you what I meant by water bottle, but you can take a water bottle underneath the hand that is closer to your leg, the left hand it would be now. All right, so you're gonna step your left foot forward. Ooh, all right, and just be mindful. One side's gonna be maybe a little stickier than the other, so be gentle. We're not forcing this. It's not about forcing this, but just starting to slide forward. So slide your heel forward. Back toes can be tucked here, and you're gonna find the point where your front leg doesn't wanna go any farther. Okay, and then maybe, just maybe, you can tuck your right toes under and take your right leg back in space. Oh, see, this is my way tighter side. And you can pause right here. Keep pressing into your hands, feel your chest lift. If it feels like a safe option for you, you can take your block underneath your leg there. So now it's higher, I need it closer into my booty. That's it, right? So you've got the blocks under your hands, chest lift, untuck your toes, scissor through your inner thighs, get a nice lift through your low belly, and then maybe those hands can go up. Wow! Take a breath. Don't fall off your blocks. Don't celebrate too much. You'll fall off. I've done it. Take your hands back down. You get to press into those blocks, lift it up, and drag it back in. Pause here in your table. Shift a little bit side to side. Okay. Come back up onto your knees. Maybe some hip circles. And then the other direction. Okay. So now we get to rest, right? So take a second. You've got the blocks, move them to the side, readjust any way that you want to readjust. So that's a really great pose to do maybe a couple of times. So if you feel like you want to go back into it, just rewind a little bit and do each side again. In the interest of time, I'm going to keep moving forward. There we go. And with a block nearby, go ahead and lay on your back. And you're going to take that block into one hand, just like we did before. Press into your feet, lift your hips, and slide that block under. And find that sweet spot. Pause here. You can let your eyes close. Let the weight of your hips drop down into the block. Let your arms relax, and let the center of the back of your head press down. Yes. All right, then you're going to pull your knees in and take your legs up. That's it. We did a lot of work on our legs today, so let's give them a little R&R. If it feels good to close your eyes here, you can close your eyes here. Beautiful. Fold your knees back into your chest. Step one foot down at a time. Pause right here. And press into your feet and lift your hips. And take that block out, but keep your hips lifted. Shuffle your upper arms underneath you. Press into the center of the back of your head. And maybe, just maybe, interlace your fingers underneath you. Press down through your arms to lift into your chest. And as your chest moves toward your chin, feel your head press into the floor so your chin moves away from your chest. Take a breath. And when you exhale, release and slowly lower it down. Feet nice and wide. Let your knees just windshield wiper. It doesn't have to be super dramatic. Let them go side to side. Yeah. And then take both knees in, hug them through center, and then bring them wide too. Feel your tailbone lengthen, and as you press into your knees or your shins, feel the back of your body really press down into the floor, like you can make a perfect imprint of your back on the floor. And you can stay right here in this place, or you can come into a happy baby. And rock just a little bit side to side. And then draw both knees in. Take your feet to the floor and pause. If there's anything else you need, then go for it. If you're ready for your Shavasana, stretch it out. You can grab a couple of your blankets if you want, put underneath your head, grab another blanket underneath your knees. We've got all sorts of props here. If you want to use them, go for it. Blocks under your knees, under your feet, anything. Find what feels comfortable and go for it. And then give yourself the opportunity just to relax before you move on. Come back to your breath. Back to that rhythm. Rise and fall. And stay here as long as you'd like. If you're ready to come out, when you're ready, you're going to deepen your breath. And start to move your fingers and your toes. And then draw your knees in. And come to rest on one side. Pause here. Take a breath. And press into your arms. Come on up. Find a comfortable seat. For just a moment here, let your eyes close and feel your sitting bones underneath you and the crown of your head stretch up. Before you move on to whatever comes next, whatever is waiting for you off of your mat, bring your palms together into Anjali Mudra, or rest your hands on your heart and bow your head and honor this time on your mat and your body, your breath, and this practice that always gives and gives and gives. May you have a lovely, spectacular day. Thanks for spending some time with me. I look forward to practicing with you again soon. As always, comment, share, like, subscribe, all the things. Thanks for being here.